This is amazing. So my WOW chats, words of wisdom with people that I admire and respect and whose work is in line with making this world a better place. And that's you, Richard. Thank you so much. We have Richard Miller, the founder, developer of iRest and iRest Institute. And we are here at the Symposium on Yoga Therapy and Research in Newport Beach, California. And it's an honor. Thank you so much for taking time to do this.
My pleasure. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so words of wisdom. My one question for you. So you did an incredible presentation on experiencing wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I've been, exploring for obviously many years. It's the essence of yoga, that we're whole and complete. And I mean, I hear the words, and when you talk about it verbally, I mean, I can wrap my head around it, but then when I'm an educator, and so then when I try to explain it, and kind of teach, it's really hard for me to translate that. I know what it is inside, and especially when you take us through the practices, and I mean, I think I can feel what that means for me, but this morning when you were taking us through the experience, and then you also said, can you come up with a word? And I can't come up with a word, but I can feel it. And so I'm wondering, just with all that babbling, is there anything that you can offer me and maybe others listening who, just don't really understand, like, what do you mean, Richard Miller, about wholeness? Like, what is that really? And
wholeness is a concept. So I'm aware that when we think of words like wholeness, it's more conceptual. When we think of words like love, kindness, a sense of well-being, that has more of a flavor in the body. So I don't like so much talking about it at first, but give the experience, lead a person into an experience of their own inner quality that's somatic in their body. And then invite them, are there words that you might use if somebody were to ask you, what does this feel like? So people come back with words like peace, ease, spacious and open, presence. And I like that as I give the experience, whether they're yoga-oriented, meditators, homeless, military, they all give me the same words. But I want them to give me the words, then we're all on the same page from the experiential basis. So I really like to get in with the person as quick as I can, help them come into this quality which we are doing today, an ease of being, which everybody knows what it's like just to simply be for a moment. Let go of the moment we're before, not ready to go on, just this moment where we settle back. And with a little bit of prompting, like we were doing today, sensing opposites in our hands or in our body, we can gently ease a person into a quality of being. And then we can go through certain inquiries like we did today, and then slowly ask them, so is there a word? Now, you may not come up with the word, but you've got the feeling in your body. That's more important to me. But ultimately, we're narrative creatures. We like to describe our experience, and to me that weaves, the two halves of our brain together. So our left side of our brain wants to describe it. The right side wants to experience it. But if we leave it only in description, it stays intellectual. If we only leave it somatic, and if I had the choice, I'd leave it somatically.
okay.
But then we don't know how to convey it. So by weaving the two together so that the word is coming out of our actual experience. So when I talk about well-being, for me it's not a concept. Wholeness is no longer a concept, but I realize if I say wholeness for people who haven't had the experience, it's conceptual. So to me it's got to be anchored in a full body, somatic, felt experiencing in the body that's more heart and gut centered. And then slowly what I see is people will find words, and they'll always say it's an inadequate description, but it's riding energetically on that feeling. So when they say peace, I feel the resonance of it. Now I'm feeling that sense in my body, and the more words you add to it, I think of each of the words as a facet of a diamond. Somebody says peace, somebody says ease, somebody says spacious. But they keep describing more and more of the diamond, and I can feel each of those, how they actualize in my body.
Yeah.
And I think that if we're in a group and people are hearing these different words, it's actualizing their experience more and more, pulling it more and more out of their unconscious into their full body
Yeah.
experience.
Wow, that really helps me, get that idea of the somatic experience and the narrative, or the words, and how important both are.
Both are.
Yeah, and just I feel like, and then another thing that came up for me, with my struggle trying to find the word, I realized I do have those words of peace and ease, but like you said, I feel like they don't quite like I'm not quite capture it, but like you said, it's another piece. And one quick more, just a follow up. Have you ever worked with anyone though that can't, like you said, most people, or we all can, we know what that moment is like, just to be and have that glimpse of peace or ease. Have you ever worked with anyone that can't, like they do feel like broken?
I've worked with
like,
people that initially say, I can't understand or feel this, so I will then prompt them. Has there ever been a time when you were stroking a dog, petting a cat, taking a walk on the beach, lying down, feeling the sun on your bones, or looking up into the nighttime sky, and had an overwhelming feeling happen in your body? Everybody has had that experience. Even people that I've worked with who come from backgrounds of tremendous trauma, early childhood trauma, they may not be able to reconcile the word peace or love or joy. They might not know the word safety, but they can find a word like secure. So I'll prompt them. If you had an image that when you were experiencing that image gave you that sense of security, what's the image and where and how do you feel that in your body? So we use that as a starting place that then begins to anchor and develop that deeper sense of being. So I think of them as stepping stones, portals. Each experience leads us to a deeper experience. And today we were looking at the experience of being. Being's a portal to another deeper opening, which if I were to have described that today, probably it would have been even more intellectual for some. So I like to start with something that has more of a viscous, energetic quality in the body that most people can begin to get a hold of. But I've worked, say, in shelters where people said, I can't quite understand what you're saying. So then I'll work with them for a few moments in the group, pulling that experience out, and I have yet to find anybody who within about 5 or 10 minutes can say, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying.
Wow,
now.
and you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, do you have resources that someone can go to gain that experience?
There are resources on our website where I have downloadable MP3s, say the Wholeness of Being, where I'm walking a person through the experience of being and trying to anchor it and develop it and going through it slowly. And often I'll ask a person is, hear what I'm saying, push the stop button. Take some time to really experience it, push the play button. So they're not just following right along my words, but taking a bit of time to really experience it. So yeah, there are MP3s, meditations that I give. Also on Insight Timer, all these meditation apps that we can find for free online. I also have them embedded in those places as well.
So I'll leave all that so that you all can access those. Thank you so much. This has just been fabulous.
You're welcome.
Wow Chats, Words of Wisdom, Richard Miller. Thank you.
You're welcome, Shelly.
Okay. Thank you for watching this Wow Chat with Richard Miller. Check out iRest.org and some of the direct links
to the practices that he was talking about. Check out some of my other WOW chats with people that I admire and respect and whose work is in line with making this world a better place.